If you've retired, you don't have anything to worry about. It's the third time I've said that. I'll probably say it 3 more times. See, in my line of work, you got to keep repeating things over and over and over again for the truth to sink in, to kind of catapult the propaganda.
And here she comes right now, Paris Hilton finally walking out of jail, a free woman. You can see the thousands of flashbulbs now going off as she emerges from around the corner. Our first sight of the free Paris Hilton right now. Here.
Our impulses are redirected. We are living in an artificially induced state of consciousness that resembles sleep. The poor and the underclass are growing. Racial justice and rights are non-existent. They have created a repressive society, and we are their unwitting accomplices. Their intention to rule rests with the annihilation of consciousness.
Big glass crater out of the fucking Middle East.
They have made us indifferent to ourselves, to others. We are focused only on our own gain.
This tube is the most awesome goddamn force in the whole godless world. And woe is us if it ever falls into the hands of the wrong people.
Understand, they are safe as long as they are not discovered. That is their primary method of survival. Keep us asleep, keep us selfish, keep us sedated.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm thinking that.
Where do you think the best place to invade Iran would be from? Think it'd be from the north or the south or the east or the west?
I think it's to the east.
West.
Name a country that begins with U.
A country?
Yeah. What about this one?
What?
The United States of America.
I had planned another closing message, but I feel compelled to say what I'm about to say. Now, I risk sounding like a conspiracy theorist, but it's no longer a theory. What I'm about to say is fact. The secret organizations of the world power elite are no longer secret. They have planned and are now leading us into a one-world communist government.
Tonight, a proposal for an expanded so-called free trade zone from Alaska to the tip of South America. It's a plan from the business elites, the political elites, that will cost more American jobs, cost American sovereignty, but it would fulfill the president's father's vision.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order.
It's an agenda that goes hand in hand with the United States, Mexico, and Canada working quietly and behind the scenes to promote a common market with common deregulation for the benefit of multinational corporations.
They never stop thinking about new ways to harm our country and our people, and neither do we.
You're talking about Zolik's proposal. It's not Zolik's proposal. It's Daddy's proposal. And people better understand that they mean exactly what they're saying. It's a new world order they're trying to create, and they're trying to do so not only without approval or consent of the governed in this country, but despite the popular will. This is a straightforward assault by the elitists in this country.
Listen, open the darn Fed window. He has no idea how bad it is out there. He has no idea. He has no idea. I have talked to the heads of almost every single one of these firms in the last 72 hours, and he has no idea what it's like out there. None!
Most Americans would agree that it would be prudent to have a plan to provide for the continuity of government and the rule of law in case of a devastating terrorist attack or natural disaster. A plan to provide for the cooperation, the coordination, and continued functioning of all three branches of the government. The Bush administration tells us they have such a plan. They introduced a little sketchy public version that's clearly inadequate and doesn't really tell us what they have in mind. But they said, don't worry, there's a detailed classified version. But now they've denied the entire Homeland Security Committee of the United States House of Representatives access to their so-called detailed plan to provide for continuity of government. They say, trust us. Trust us, the people who brought us Katrina.
Well, I don't want you in here. I don't want you in here, period.
There's a mandatory evacuation.
I know all about it.
Well, Patricia Coney's protests were to no avail. They moved her out of there, and she is now at...
Today in New Orleans, they got a lot tougher on the holdouts.
Police department, everyone home!
Not only the flooded areas, but New Orleans' driest and wealthiest neighborhoods, too.
Police department!
The police and National Guard going street by street, house to house.
We need to make sure, too, that whenever we knock on doors, people refuse to leave. We need to make note, call it in.
They say there are no orders to use force, just strong persuasion, sometimes entering open houses with guns drawn, and instructions to disarm anyone inside.
You say guns will be taken?
No one will be able to be armed. We're going to take all the weapons.
That happened today in this wealthy neighborhood where homeowners had armed themselves to protect their mansions. Residents were handcuffed on the ground. In the end, police took their weapons but let them stay in their homes. For many of the police and guard troops, it is an uncomfortable job to do this in an American city.
Walking up and down these streets, you don't want to think about the stuff that you're going to have to do. Somebody pops around the corner. I mean, shoot in America.
Yeah. Maybe the plan just really doesn't exist, and that's why they won't show it to us. I don't know. Or maybe there's something there that's outrageous. The American people need their elected representatives to review this plan for the continuity of government.
December 22nd, year 2012. The date of the final alien invasion. Mulder can confirm the date. He saw it at Mount Weather. Where our own secret government will be hiding when it all comes down.
Now, despite us actually seeing Mount Weather for ourselves, the folks here in Washington are actually being quite tight-lipped about the situation. In fact, published reports indicate that FEMA is no longer even acknowledging Mount Weather's existence. Now, one of the reasons for that could be if there was a major catastrophic event here at the nation's capital, Mount Weather may take over as our second form of government. Some of the first weather observations we use today were recorded at Mount Weather. But global politics took over the mountain's mission in the 1950s with the start of the Cold War and the fear of nuclear attack. Since then, the facility has grown, expanding on top of the 430-acre mountain site, but most of the complex is believed to be underground. These satellite photos clearly show what almost looks like a small town, with countless roads and buildings. But it's what you can't see that has people in Berryville talking, or perhaps not talking.
But nobody talks. Nobody. Nobody. Not even the first level people will talk to you about the place.
Just as we were starting to set up shooting video for this story, two black SUVs pulled up behind us with flashing lights. Our cameras kept rolling as Homeland Security officers checked our personal identification, vehicle registration, and even some of the information that we knew about Mount Weather. We were careful not to break any laws or trespass. Still, we were politely told to move along, to not attract any unwanted attention from passersby. Our visit quickly cut short.
Being able to turn anything on, open any door with a wave of your hand.
A growing number of high-tech mavericks are unlocking the door to tomorrow's technology by getting chipped.
They are dismantling the sleeping middle class. More and more people are becoming poor. We are their cattle. We are being bred for slavery.
More than 4 million security cameras, most of them silent sentinels, but now some of them speak.